For joining me. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. I'm so excited that you're here. I appreciate you volunteering your time to come hear more about EVERFI and what we have to offer in our high school financial literacy suite. So welcome. All right, so today we are going to start off by doing some introductions. I'm going to do a little check-in just to kind of gauge where we are and your familiarity with EVERFI. And then I'm going to go into our instructional resources, some implementation ideas, and then help you get started. All right, so first I just wanted to introduce myself for those of you who may not know me, but my name is Amanda Harris. I am the school implementation specialist for the entire state of Nevada. I live here in Southern Nevada, Las Vegas specifically. I've lived in Las Vegas since about 2004. Yes, 2004? Yeah, 2004. And I am originally from the San Francisco Bay Area. So I'm excited to be here with you guys. I have three kids in Clark County School District. I have two seniors and I have a sixth grader, and they are all in magnet programs here in Clark County. On this screen, I do want to highlight the QR code here. If you can do me a favor, this sign-in sheet is separate from the other one you're required to do. So this one just kind of connects us. It gives me your contact information, and also so you don't have to write a whole bunch of notes, I will send you the slide deck that I am going over today. So if you could take a moment and just put your phones up to that QR code and help me connect with you, that would be great and greatly appreciated. My email is here as well, and my personal cell phone number. So if you ever have any questions or you need help with anything, or you'd like to set up a virtual meeting together, either one-on-one or with your teammates, I'm more than happy to do that. I do that all the time throughout the week, or even to set up a lesson with your students. I'll go over that a little bit later as well. But sometimes when you're in the moment and working on your lessons, you might run into a roadblock, and it might be quicker for you to shoot me a text or call me because you're working with your students at that time. Please feel free to use this number and do that as well. All right, let me see on my phone, link. Oh, yes, I will get that towards the end, Angela. I'll get that for you, okay? Thank you for that, but I will once we get towards the end, because I don't know. Okay, no problem. All right. So I just want to gauge. You could just type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just a scale. I want to gauge how familiar you are with EVERFI. 0 or 1 being not familiar at all, or maybe you just heard the name. And then on from 5 being, oh yes, I'm actually using it or have used it in my classroom. You can go ahead and type that in the chat. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Tommy, Angela. Thank you, Nicole, Aurora. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so you guys have at least heard and maybe registered, started experimenting or exploring the dashboard, but now you're like, okay, now what? All right, so we're going to talk about that today, with the focus primarily being on financial literacy for high school students. So number one thing I'm always asked is, what's the cost? What does this mean? It's completely free always. Our lessons are engaging. They're digital. They're already done. Teachers, educators love that. All the lessons, all the grading is done for you. Your assessments are done for you. The reporting's done for you. My local support is always, always, always completely free. We'll never ask for even a red cent at all. Even me coming in and doing lessons with your students, I am more than happy to do that anytime. It's actually one of my favorite parts, being a former educator in the classroom here in Clark County School District. It's still always one of my favorites to still get to interact with students. I can do that virtually, and I can do that in person. I actually did several lessons in classrooms throughout the district, and throughout the state virtually this week. So please know that that offer always stands, and please don't hesitate if you just want to say, hey, can you just help us get started? I'm interested in EVERFI, or I'm interested in another course, but I'd like you to come in and do that, or virtually with my students. I'm happy to. All right, so we are free. Not a gimmick. We're free because we have amazing sponsors like Vegas Golden Knights, Zelle, Kroger, Silver State Schools Credit Union, Intuit, Mass Mutual, United Way, Las Vegas Raiders. They help bring this curriculum and the digital courses we offer and the supplemental resources to you all for free. Because they sponsored it. So we're grateful for them, and they help make it possible in this way by giving back to education. All right. So some of the benefits you have is the data, the real-time reporting is done for you, lesson tools such as the dashboard lessons, plans, the discussion questions and guides that you can use as you're guiding your students through the courses. And of course, if you don't want to use them at all, because I have some educators that are like, I just need them to work on the course. And that's totally okay, because you need a break, or you need to get some grading done, or prepare for the next lesson while they're working on EVERFI. It can totally be used in that way as well. But one of my favorites are the scholarship opportunities. So I highly recommend that you have your students take advantage of that. The link is under support on your teacher dashboard. I'll help you guys get registered at the end as well. So those opportunities are always there, and it's not just for seniors, it's for all students that are using our EVERFI programs. All right, so let's get into it. Here's our resources. This is a snapshot of all of our resources, K through 12, but because we are focusing on high school today, I have a snapshot that is just the courses for high school, and the arrow pointing to financial education and our career exploration courses, because that's going to be our focus today for purposes of this session. All right, so problem, right? Only 34% of individuals nationwide can answer 4 out of 5 questions correctly on basic 5-question financial literacy quiz. So that and all of these other, all this other data and stats is the reason why we have established these courses in partnership with our sponsors, because we know the value and the meaning and the meaningful lessons that our students need to help make them productive citizens beyond the classroom. So that's why we call our courses real world education, or the missing layer, right? Because often it's been those courses or those topics that we have not had the opportunity to learn otherwise in school. I know when I was in high school, these topics were not covered in my classes at all. And so, so EVERFI specifically right here is our financial literacy course. It was the very first course that EVERFI, the company, offered. So that's why it's called EVERFI, because when we first started 15 years ago, or over 15 years ago, that was the only course that we offered. So you'll hear this course referred to as EVERFI. You'll hear this course referred to as Finlit, or financial literacy, and then Pathways, Money Moves, are some of our others that I'm going to be discussing today. So we'll start with our Finlit course, or EVERFI course. And so you'll see all of these pages that I'm getting ready to go over, or these tiles, if have you, will have a grade level recommendation. So these are just the grade levels that is recommended. It'll have the total number of lessons and approximately how long it will take the average student to complete each lesson. And then down below, my thing is just clicking away. Down below, you'll have your course topics as well, okay? And so I do want to mention that this course is built into a lot of our curriculum. I know throughout the district here in Southern Nevada and also in other districts throughout Nevada. I know that in my one of my daughter's senior classes in her government econ class, during the econ part, her teacher, they actually are going to be working on this course during that semester. So definitely want to keep that in mind. It's a popular course. It's a very meaningful course. One of my favorites about this course is actually the TurboTax simulation that's built into EVERFI. And so I highly recommend that you have your students start and finish this. It's sponsored by Intuit, and they have their own group of their own scholarship connected to it. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I didn't learn how to do my taxes when I was in high school. So, and a lot of our students are working, right? Or they're going to be entering the workforce one way or another upon graduation. So I definitely recommend that they complete the simulation so that they can have a better understanding of tax preparation software and tax credits. And a lot of our students are even gig workers. We have students that are selling things that they're making on the side, jewelry. We have students that are hairstylists. We have students that are doing all kinds of things on the side as gig workers as well. So I do want to mention that. So learning how to do your taxes is greatly beneficial. And then we have students who are interested in getting into entrepreneurship. Speaking of gig workers, right? And plan to either take over a family business someday or opening up their own business that they're passionate about later in life. And so this is a great course. It's also a fun one. This course is actually covered a lot of times in middle school and in high school as well. So if you see the grade recommendations and you're an 11th grade teacher or 12th grade teacher, please know that all of our courses are available for all teachers, no matter what you teach. If that course doesn't allow you to add it on your teacher dashboard right away, there'll be a button that says request course. So these are just recommendations based off of the content and the cognitive level of the students. Because just keep in mind that it's going to be reading to them, talking to them, engaging with them interactively on the course. So definitely recommend it for all high school classes, whether you're teaching business or you're teaching social studies or econ, or you have a career explorations class, or you just think, you know what, this is a great one for my students because there's a food truck business that they're going to create, and maybe you do it as a project where they get to present their food truck business upon completion. Build is one of our new courses for the 2022-23 school year. It's becoming very, very popular now that more and more educators are aware of it. The importance of credit. How can you talk about financial literacy if we are not exposing our kids to those credit fundamentals? It's so important. So many of our students are entering young adulthood already with their credit being messed up, whether it's from family members or, they turn 18 during high school or college and they're like, oh, first credit card, yay, we've all been there. Just me? Okay. So these topic areas are defining credit, acquiring credit, growing credit, managing credit, addressing issues with credit. So making sure that they understand what it means and also establishing credit, because we know how important that is too. And then we have marketplaces all about investing, right? Because a lot of students are like starting to hear that, or they might come from a family where they might hear that uncle or that grandpa or grandmother that's mentioned investing in this or that, and not really understand what is, okay, investing. I hear that word sometimes, or I hear my friends talk about it, but what does that mean? So marketplaces is all about investing basics, the financial markets, and what is the financial market and exchange, the government's role in the economy, a big one, right? And how to build on their own investment portfolio and so much more. Another great course. And then money moves, modern banking and identity protection, right? And so a lot of us are doing that online banking right now. So we want to make sure that they understand how to also protect their identity, what peer-to-peer transactions look like with people using Cash App and Venmo and Zelle. What is identity theft? I tell a story that my colleague shared with me that he had a student in high school. He got his first bank card and he went on, I don't know if it was either TikTok or what's the other one, Snapchat, and like flashing his card because he got it personalized and designed and he thought it was so cool. But guess what was on the front? His number. And then, people are chatting back to him. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Let me see the back. Now we know good and well that the identity, needless to say, that he already experienced his first time banking, had some identity theft, and it was really bad. So sad story, but true story. And I'm sure that student isn't the only one that experienced that. So we want to make sure that they're understanding that. And so this course, Pathways, is all about financing higher education. Now, I will say a lot of my high school counselors love this course because it also goes over FAFSA, right? Many of our students are completing those FAFSA forms right now. Some have finished, some still working on it, trying to get it done by the end of the year. And guess what? It can be really confusing. And so this course, a lot of times our counselors and our advisory teachers or homeroom teachers or business teachers or college and career readiness classes or econ teachers will introduce this course to their students and make it available so that they can understand financial aid, student loan basics, budgeting versus taking out loans, and the importance of repaying those loans as well. Grow is our financial planning for life course. The topic areas here are planning for the future, making smart money habits, how to grow wealth, right? That's who talks about that in school. Guess what? EVERFI does. And thanks to amazing teachers like you, they are getting the opportunity to be exposed to topics and that missing layer that's been missed for so many years in the classroom. So we just want to make sure that our students are understanding that it goes beyond just making money, right? Okay, you make money, now what? What do we do with that money? So it's important for us to educate the whole child surrounding financial education. And so smart money habits is an important topic in order to do that. If we're going to be teaching smart money habits, then guess what? This is what we are going to have to cover. We also have our Save Up course. I don't know if I highlighted that one here, but that's another new course that we have, teaching kids how to save, right? So important. So that's another one that I highly recommend as well. And then getting into our career and college readiness courses, keys to your future. My mom is also an educator here in Clark County School District where I live. And this is one of her favorite courses. She teaches business and computer science classes, and she's the FBLA advisor, and the list goes on. She's amazing. But Keys to Your Future, College and Career Readiness is a great course. I actually did a lesson during first quarter at a high school here in Clark County as well with the ROTC program. And so it was really fun to do, great group. I'm also a veteran, so it was special to me in more ways than one, but highly recommend this course pretty much for any class, to be honest. And you're going to talk about career discovery, exploration, and goal setting, right? Having those SMART goals, skills that you need to succeed in high school and beyond high school, and the various post-secondary education pathways, because there's many out there. And then also building relationships and networking and how important that is. I tell, my kids all the time, is like, be careful, who you run into conflict with, or who, what happened here? Did that go blank for you guys? There it is. That was weird. Who we interact with, because that person could be on the other side of the interview table for you someday, right? You don't know who it is. So the importance of networking teamwork and collaboration. So this will help you in the workplace. It'll help you in your college, your post high school education, and throughout life, right? We all need the keys to our future for college and career readiness. And then we have venture again, which is that entrepreneurship expedition. I love venture because yes, it covers the financial literacy part, that budgeting part of things, and understanding what that is and what startup capital is. But it also covers the business side of things, right? Making a business pitch, creating your own business plan. So it does both. So it's a win-win course. Definitely love the entrepreneur expedition. The kids love creating that food truck business as well. And then we have data science foundations, which is all about data science basics, right? Analyzing and visualizing that data, reporting and acting on data. And so this course offers students and empowers them with the knowledge that they need to know the basics of the data science, right? The currency in the job market and how it's applied to their everyday life. So another great course here. And then the data sciences come in 3. There's like a bundle of 3 courses. So the first one that I went over was the data science foundations, right? That's the foundations. But then we have a data science exploration course that focuses more on banking fraud. So you could start with the foundations, lead into the banking fraud, kind of like that story I told you about my colleague's former students. So understanding the banking industry, right? And how fraud happens or occurs and how it relates to data science. And then it goes into the financial wellness, right? The how we can make sure that our students are getting the skills and the knowledge they need to be able to accurately evaluate the ROI and the data science education, career options. And some of these students might want to get into the banking industry. So these 3 courses bundled together are great for the students who may want to get into that banking industry or the business side of it or the computer science side of it. Or intelligence, or so many options out there, right? It's so ironic. I did a lesson yesterday at a high school, and I was in a business class, and I actually did it with using the Future Smart, which is one of our middle school courses. I didn't highlight it here, but it's great for high school as well. And so what Future Smart does is it talks about all those financial business decisions. And so the teacher and I were talking, and one of the students overheard me say that, my undergrad is in business. So I have a bachelor's in business administration with the emphasis in management. And he's like, what do you do? And he was so intrigued, right? And so he was like, really? And it just so happened that the teacher's whose classroom I was in, that was her undergrad too. And we both had masters in education. And so the student was very excited. Like, what are you learning? What do you learn when you get a degree in business? What can you do with that? And so it's not often where they get to talk to people, especially if they're going to be they're going to be a first generation entering into the college workforce. It's important, and helped me realize the importance of sharing that, right? And so they know the possibilities, and there's so many different careers out there. And so many different majors. And so just understanding how all of that, your post-secondary education, how it connects to the career field as well. Let me go ahead and go to the next slide. So big question I always get is, okay, I need implementation ideas. How do I use this? I'm busy, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm already ready for summer break. So it's been a long year already, and we're not even past the second quarter. And so I just want you all to know that EVERFI was designed with teachers in mind, right? Everybody on my team, we're all former educators. Pretty much most implementation specialists with EVERFI are former educators. My supervisor, my manager, my director, the CEO, we're all former educators. And so with that in mind, one thing we all share is the burnout is real when you are in the classroom, living it every single day. And so we think about that, right? And when we're coming together and in our committees and different things, we're like, what can we do to make it easier, right? Because that is what we all remember, is what that feeling is. And so having the lesson plans already done for you, having the grading already done for you, having somebody dedicated to your state that can set your classes up for you and just give you a guide to say, okay, this is how your students get started. Having most, if not everything done for you, all you have to do is just say click start. That is the idea behind EVERFI. And so with that, you're able to, you could use it as unit projects. You could use it as a front loading a new unit, or the end to a unit. So you have that summative assessment at the end of the lessons. Small group work, early finishers, because you always have those 1, 2, or 3 students that are like, I'm done. And you're like, really? This is supposed to last the whole period. So yes, absolutely. It can be used for your early finishers. And one that is still very popular right now is subplans, right? And so you need those emergency subplans. You email me and say, hey, I just found out I'm going to have to be out tomorrow or all of next week, whatever it may be. Guess what? It can be used as that, or it can be used as your primary curriculum, right? Like I mentioned, our Finlit course, EVERFI, is built into a lot of those government econ teachers. They have it built into their curriculum. We have a lot of teachers that are using it because they're teaching an elective course. And so with that elective course, they did not get any curriculum or much of a budget, if at all, to have a curriculum for their students. So this is already available to you for free. You name it, it can be used. Homework, right? Or you could be used as a way for you to give your student a scholarship opportunity. Whatever it is, you have full autonomy to use it as little or as much as you want, but the courses are there for you. And it's built around educating that whole child for real world education and making sure that we're touching on that financial literacy, that surrounding banking basics, employment and taxes, budgeting, consumer skills, credit and debit, financing, higher education, insurance, right? And so when we're talking about our financial literacy suite, everything is covered here in a complete bundle. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I just like to make sure that you guys are understanding that it is truly our goal to make it as easy as possible for you to get started and to know that you have my support every step of the way. So at this time, I am going to, how many minutes do I have left? About 10-ish or so, 10 to 15, I think, or maybe less. Let's see.
And we go to 140. We are at 113.
Okay, great. We have, okay, good. Whew. I was talking faster. I went over a little bit last time, guys. So I was trying to make sure I got most of it covered. But what I want to do right now is I really want to help you guys get registered and engage with each other so you have a chance to explore your teacher dashboard. So if you have questions and you're like, what is this? Or how does this work? I want to be able to do that with you. So if you can go ahead and do me a favor and just type in the chat your district name, because few of our districts here in Nevada, like Carson, Washoe, Clark County, I think Elko too, actually, is Clever enabled. We have that MOU to be in their Clever right now. And so I want to help you guys get registered. All right, great. Awesome. I thought that was you, Angela. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Have your students had a chance to get started at all? Feel free to share if you want to share anything at this time while I'm getting everybody started. I was like, is it possible there's two Angelas? Possible, but all right. So let me go ahead and get you guys started. I believe I'm gonna check in just a moment. But if you are not Clark County School Districts, awesome. Yay. Okay, great. So we'll definitely connect again. So hopefully my email was thorough enough to help, but I'm happy to help and hop in or come to your school to help them as well. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get registered. You're welcome. If you are at CCSD or Cleverton Able School, I think Elko is too, but we're going to try. We're going to check first because I don't want to, if I close out of the presentation right now, it's going to close everything, the visuals out for you guys. So I could definitely check. Who is that? Who is that? Elko, Derek Martin. And Derek, if you know already that EVERFI is in your Clever dashboard or not, then just let me know in the chat, and then I'll circle back to help you get registered the traditional way. But what I'll do is ahead of the time, it's pretty easy to do. It's just 2 or 3 extra steps. But I'm going to go ahead and just type it in here, everfi.com. Oops. All right. And so, okay. Oh, Derek, please be sure you filled out my QR code. I have a cool course for you, a few of them that PE teachers, and I'll just throw it out there. But Future Goals Hockey Scholar, super fun for PE teachers, just throwing it out there. So please get registered. There's a math and science edition, but it's really fun. A lot of my PE teachers like it too, because they're able to connect STEM to sports. And just saying, it's sponsored by the Vegas Golden Knights, and we work really closely with them. So I highly recommend that one to use. It's great even for like a rainy day. You know, our weather is unpredictable right now. So we'll get together. You're in Elko. I think some of my districts, depending on how close you are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still the Vegas Golden Knights for you. Yeah, it is really cool. It's a fun one. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see, getting started. All right, so when you go to your Clever dashboard, this is a live link, so you could click here or literally just type CCSD Clever into your URL. And then if you don't see it on your dashboard right away, you could type in EVERFI into the upper right. There's like a little box to do a search. Type in EVERFI and it should pop up for the SSO, and just put a heart on it so it's there. And then from there, it's going to ask you if you're a previous, and this is for people who haven't logged in a long time or at all. We're getting you registered. But before last school year, right before the winter or holiday break, that's when the Clever merge happened. So if you haven't signed in through Clever since then, you might have to link your account only if you have an old account. If not, just click dismiss. And once you do that, you should, so you kind of see the difference for those of, yeah, it's kind of like with Clever, it just makes it so much easier. And then your students sign in through Clever too. So there's no like setting up your student roster and creating passwords for them. It's just easy, click, they're in, and any courses you've assigned through. So it's based off of how your Clever sections are in Infinite Campus and how your school, and that's how you would set up your classes. So when you go to create class, you just find the school name. The Clever section will be in that top box in the drop down. If you're there, just put yes. If you've made it into your teacher dashboard, just type yes. Or if you need some help or ran into a hiccup, let me know. If you're an administrator or thank you, Tommy. If you're an administrator or a counselor, or you have another role as like a coach or something like that, and you do not have any Clever sections, you would simply just, when you go to create your class name, you would just name the class whatever you want. But the students at your school, because it's where the whole district is Clever enabled, they will still be able to get into that class, and they'll just type in the registration code. And so I have quick start guides that I send out once people get registered. So you'll get emails from me once you're registered if you haven't already. But still super easy either way. And when you're adding those courses, you just click on the ones that you're interested in. Awesome. Oh, yeah. No, it shouldn't matter if you're a SPED teacher. Aurora, you were in CCSD. Yeah, you are in CCSD. Did you type it into the search engine once you signed in through Clever? And it did, and EVERFI didn't come up? Huh. Let me be sure that you did. I'm going to check on it for you. What's your can you type your last name for me, Aurora? And then of course, if you put in your did that QR code for me, then I'll have your contact information already. But I am, thank you. Oh, it's pretty. Aurora, April, pretty. So I am able to, you're welcome. I have an admin login for Clever, so I'm able to actually see on the back end what's going on. Sometimes when wonky things like that happen, it has something to do with the school site settings. And so you might have to just get with your IT, and it's like a quick thing that they do. Like they're able to see it on the back end. But I will definitely check on that for you. And so we can see what's going on. And then at the end, when I stop sharing the slide deck, if we have time afterward. Oh, okay. Yay. Awesome. Got that. That was easy. It just needed to hear my voice. All right. So when you're adding courses, you just click those boxes. You kind of see some of the other classes that we offer. So I know one of my teachers, oh, I also wanted to mention for my special education teachers, of course, it depends on your students, but I do have special education teachers at the high school level that are using our elementary and middle school too, because sometimes they find that it's more appropriate for their students. So please know the K-12 suite is available for everybody, right? And if a course doesn't say create class on the button, all you have to do is request course, and then I automatically make sure that you have that course available to you. And then I know my PE teacher that was in here, you see that Future Goals Hockey Scholar, that's what it looks like there. We do recommend it. Future Goals Hockey Scholar is typically for 4th and 5th graders through middle school. I have done some first day launches for 3rd grade, but it's more because of the information and the science and math that is being discussed. Sometimes the upper elementary through middle school find it more beneficial. I have had a couple of high schools that used it too, but definitely upper elementary and middle school tend to have, the most fun with it. So we have a lot of courses, SEL, financial literacy, the whole gamut. Let me go ahead and go to the next slide. I'm just giving you guys a visual here. This is what it will look like once you set up that class as Clever enabled. And I'm going to send you guys quick start guides so you could kind of see the 4 or 5 step way of getting in as well. But this is where your grade book would be. 70% or higher is considered passing. Once they get 70% or higher on every single lesson, they get certified in that course. They can retake it as often as they like, or you allow at your school. With grade reform, it's open for them to review and redo, and you can see how many times they redid it too through your grade book. There are some updates coming to you, more updates coming to the teacher dashboard throughout the school year, and they'll be releasing those hopefully by next semester. You won't see your students rostered until they actually get started. Those of my regular EVERFIers, you will be excited to know that you'll be able to see specifically if they got started and when they got started. I know sometimes that gets kind of confusing. So I'm super excited about some of the updates because there are updates that I often get from teachers like, oh, why doesn't it show me this or tell me this? So some of those things are coming. They're constantly doing updates here. Invite a teacher, you get a $15 gift card for every teacher that gets started. So if you have a team, hey, invite them. I love Amazon. So if you love Amazon, get your $15 gift card there. Under the help button here, that's where you'll find the scholarship opportunities links to all of our scholarships and contests. So definitely use that button too. So definitely recommend. Yeah, I do love it. Is pretty sweet, Angela. The My Courses, I recommend starting from Explore Courses so you can see all of our courses. There's going to be an update coming there too, where they're categorized by a little easier, where you could type in to search like just for the financial literacy courses and so on. Super excited about that update coming hopefully soon. But they're not going to auto-populate to the My Courses section until the system kind of knows the courses that you're interested in or you set up in your classroom. So always start in Explore Courses there. All right, and so this is just giving you an idea of what it's going to look like. The students, you don't have any students here yet. Remember I mentioned you're not going to see them there until they actually get registered and started. All right, let me go forward. Let's see. And then when your students get started, they just simply go to Clever. Once they log into Clever, boom. If you set up the class using your Clever section, they're automatically going to see the courses you assign to them. If you're like a counselor or you're a co-teacher and the kids aren't assigned to you per se in Infinite Campus, or you're an administrator or something where the Clever section isn't those students aren't assigned to you only, then you will just create a actual special cohort, kind of like how I did for Angela. So I just set up a class for her. So she has a registration code with all the courses that she wanted her students to have access to. And then those students would just sign in through Clever still, but they're going to just put that course code and type it in right here. So I'm kind of glad you're here, Angela, so you can see it. So this is what your students would see. They're going to put that registration code and type it in right here. And all the courses that have been assigned to them are going to auto-populate here, just the same place any other courses their other classroom teachers might have assigned to them. So some teachers also do this if they only want certain students to have certain courses in their class. They'll set up a special cohort and so on. So any questions so far about what the students see or how the students will get in? Any questions? Any questions? All right, so if you didn't get a chance to sign in yet, this is the QR code again. This is the sign in for me. So I have your information on the back end, so that way I can send you this slide deck. I'll send it to you so you have access to it. And I'll also send you other resources to help you and your students get started, but also we'll have that connection. If you ever need me to come to a PLC meeting or do a professional development, or you want me to just meet with you one-on-one in person or virtually, then I'm happy to do that. Every once in a while, I am in other places throughout Nevada, like this past summer, I was up in the Reno Tahoe area at the Nevada ACTE conference. So I am in other areas, sometimes doing conferences, but I'm happy to meet with anybody throughout the entire state of Nevada and New Mexico. If you have friends in New Mexico, I do cover New Mexico too. I'm happy to meet with you guys virtually, do lessons with your students. I can help them get started. Usually when I do that, I use Pear Deck. And so I do a lesson on one of our specific courses and then help them get registered and started at the end. Happy to do that as well. And And then this is my contact information again. If you'd like to set up a 15, 20, 30-minute meeting with me to connect, I'm happy to do that with you as well. This is the QR code to connect with me and set up a meeting, or just shoot me an email and say, hey, I'd like to set up a meeting, and then I'll find some time. Let me know what normally works for you. If you prefer to meet during your prep, then let me know when that is typically, and then I'll find some time for us to connect that way. You're welcome, Angela. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you so much. This has been great. So thank you for engaging with me. I hope you were able to get registered. If not, I hope we're able to connect with one another. And just know you have my full support throughout the entire school year and even summer, because I heard we're doing summer acceleration here in Southern Nevada again. So if you're one of those educators, I do have teachers that use it for their curriculum for summer acceleration as well, or summer school if you teach summer school. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Thank you, Tommy. Bye. Thank you. Don't forget to fill out your session survey, please. It was just put in the chat for you again. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Aurora. Thank you all.
You talked super fast that round.
I know. I was
You
like,
still have 9 minutes.
do I? Oh my gosh. Well, I wanted to make sure I had time for questions this time, but not many questions. I know, and there's actually more courses for the high school too.
I use we're getting ready for econ in the spring, so we're setting everything up for that now.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah, that's a great one, definitely, for this econ class. My daughter is doing the dual credit, so she's been doing the political science this semester, and then next semester they're doing the econ, and her teacher uses the EVERFI Finley course as well.